Hey friends, welcome back to Rita Talks. I'm Rita, and on this YouTube channel I just share some of the thoughts, ideas that I've been thinking about, some of the things that have been going on in my life. And in today's video I want to talk about this topic of not keeping the promises that we make to ourselves and how to act when that inevitably happens. After all, we're all human, and basically in a way that just allows us to bounce back. And basically I've noticed in my life that the times when I beat myself up the most about not having done something that I know I should have done are the times where it takes me the longest to bounce back. Because when I just spend time uh, beating myself up, feeling sorry for myself, blaming myself, somewhat punishing myself in my own head, it actually doesn't help. All it does is makes me feel bad, and does not allow me to just accept the reality and adapt to maybe the reasons that have caused me to not stick to my commitments, etc. So that leads me to basically the approach that I'm trying to adopt in my own life when this happens, and I'll tell you why I'm talking about this topic in a bit today. But basically what I try to do is this, or what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to learn, just use this concept of radical acceptance that something did not happen. Okay, I did not stick to the commitment that I have made to do something. There are two ways to move forward, right? One is just accept it, the other one is beat yourself up and then feel bad about it. That makes you, like, it just triggers negative spiral that is gonna make it even harder for you to bounce back. Okay? What I try to do is just accept the situation for what it is and try to analyze maybe the reasons that have led me, like what are the factors, what factors contributed to me not sticking to that commitment. Was that commitment unrealistic? Because I could say, I'm gonna go climb Mount Everest tomorrow, right? How reasonable is that? Given where I am and that I've not been training nearly enough for Mount Everest, like, it's just like a huge human feat that I cannot just will myself into doing, right? It's physically not possible for me to just go and climb Mount Everest tomorrow. First of all, because I have no logistics, and I have not done the training to be able to do that, right? I'm not in the physical shape to be able to do that, right? And so that's the first reason that might lead to me failing at a goal. Is the goal realistic in the first place? Okay, if the goal, like most of the time, I've found in myself is that I set unrealistic expectations for myself that makes it inevitable for me that I don't meet those unrealistic expectations. And I think that's what's been leading me lately to not sticking to my commitments, not doing the things that I want to do, is that I have this wishful thinking that I could do a lot of things to the quality that I want to do them in, that I would somehow like summon this, like, I don't know, superhuman force that would allow me to push through magically all of these things that I throw on my plate. But the truth is I can't do all of them, right? And it's a realization that it's a lesson that I have to learn over and over again in my life. and I'm in a period of my life where I have to learn it again, because right now I have started just dropping a lot of my commitments because that I've made in the past for things that are not as important as the most important thing on my plate right now, which is to finish the project from my previous team. And so that has led to disappointment from people that I care about, mentors and friends, disappointment from myself, not feeling as great about myself, etc. And it's been affecting a bit my mood or attitude or whatever, right? So just to summarize what we have been over so far are the expectations that I'm setting realistic? And most of the time, it's because I have set unrealistic expectations, especially for my standards. Because I have really high standards and I want to do everything to the best of my ability. And so I put a lot of on my plate, and basically realize too late that I cannot, like, if I do all of this stuff, the quality is not gonna match up. And it bothers me a lot to do stuff without the level of quality that it requires. And so it's something that I'm learning to be better at, is to be more intentional and deliberate about the things that I say yes to. So that's the first one. Okay, and most of the time we fail our commitments because of this, and I think that's the case for me. The second one is maybe there were some blockers, some things that are required for something to happen. Well, actually, now that I think about it, it just all comes down to setting unrealistic expectations and expecting superhuman, like, because the thing is, the source of these unrealistic expectations, at least for me, is that one time or like twice I've like pulled off something that was unrealistic, and that gave me the confidence to commit to unrealistic stuff. But then I started committing to unrealistic stuff, to an unrealistic number of unrealistic stuff. So that makes it even less likely. If I had committed to only one unrealistic thing and really set myself up to make this one unrealistic thing happen, then maybe it could have happened, right? But given that I had done maybe two unrealistic things, like namely last year for me it was running the 2 half marathons, I just thought, oh heck, I can do unrealistic stuff, and how about we put on our like we commit to 5 unrealistic things. Maybe this will work. But the caveat is that those unrealistic things happened in series and not in parallel. So I could only have one unrealistic thing at a time to handle. And the other condition is that this unrealistic thing has to be something that I truly care about or that I'm doing for me. Not for work, not for anything. I've seen that in my life that the only times I'm able to stick with unrealistic things, well, within the limit of the possible, right? Like train for a half marathon in 1 month, with a low bar of just completing the half marathon, right? Like that's realistically that there are levels, there are tiers to unrealistic stuff. Me climbing Mount Everest tomorrow, unrealistically unrealistic. I don't know if this is like an actual like if the words actually make sense. But anyway, let's just set that as impossible because of physics, right? Like that's impossible because it breaks the laws of physics, okay? And then there's realistically unrealistic, which is what the half marathons were about, is that it was not like it is possible for me to run a half marathon after only 30 days of training. But what it took is that like it took a level of effort so high. I mean, so high, not David Goggins high, but high for me at least, where I was running every day for that whole month to be able to pull it off. And it was the only thing I did in my free time. All I did is that I would finish work, go to the gym, work out, then after I'm done with my workout, run for 1 hour, and then it turned into 2 hours, and yeah, just kept increasing as the days went by and the half marathon was close, right? So basically, the second tier of unrealistic is the tier of unrealistic that's somewhat approachable, but it requires a level of effort and dedication that it's pretty much the only thing, almost, that matters at that specific time. It literally felt at that time like running was my half-time, my part-time job. All I did was run, all the time. Saturdays, 2 hour runs. Sundays, 2.5 hour run on like my top days, pretty much. Like, it was just a lot, okay? And that's okay. But it was something that I was proud of. And it's these kinds of unrealistic stuff that's actually the kind of unrealistic stuff that we should be chasing. And it needs to be just one at a time, not compound two unrealistic things at the same time, because that makes it physically impossible, because it would literally break the laws of physics. One of them might not break the laws of physics, it might push the boundaries of what you're capable of through discipline and dedication and all of that stuff. But if you get two or more, then it just becomes physically impossible to do. And it would break the laws of physics if you try to do it. And then it would just make the whole situation even worse. So yeah, I was thinking like what was maybe like, yes, okay. The first one is, are your expectations unrealistic? So are you are you choosing something that would break the laws of physics and setting that as a goal, which is pretty much setting yourself up for failure? Okay. The second one is, are you setting a realistically unrealistic goal by the definition that I just gave? And are you willing? Like, is this goal striking something deep enough to be able to unlock the level of dedication and discipline that it requires to be reached or to be overcome? And that's usually the second reason that I don't stick to my commitments, is that I interpolate that, okay, I was able to do this for this specific goal. Oh, there's this other goal that looks good and that would be good to do. I need to apply the same dedication, effort, and things like this. But this other goal, I don't really care that much about, in my deepest of hearts, and it does not really go to my heart. Like, it does not really hit something deep within me that will trigger that amount of dedication and discipline to achieve. That's the second reason that I set myself up for failure and not sticking to commitments that I've made. Okay, so now let's say we have a goal that's not unrealistically unrealistic, that's realistically unrealistic, and it strikes a chord. Okay, even then you might have days where you're just not feeling it and you're gonna sleep and it's gonna happen. Okay, so on those days, the best thing that you can really do is just accept it, feel somewhat the grief of the disappointment in yourself, of not sticking up to your values and not keeping a commitment to yourself, and then just forgive yourself for it. Do something else that takes you out of whatever mindset. Do something that you did when you were a kid to have fun, something that gets you excited, whatever. Just do that. Try and find that inner joy that you have experienced in probably your favorite moments in life. So probably a moment of flow, because what we tend to remember are moments of flow in our lives, and flow is triggered either by play or like there's always some sort of intriguing thing happening in flow that basically drives flow. And yeah, either it's a movie that you watched that just made you feel like you could do anything and just made you feel really inspired, like watching Harry Potter, especially the third one, makes me feel like, I don't know, just being kind to yourself on these days and trying to approach you not sticking to your commitments as a problem to be solved, that you can iterate on, and the only way that you can iterate on it is by radically accepting the situation and forgiving yourself for it, and then just trying to fix it. And you will make mistakes again and you will fail again, and you need to forgive yourself again. And this is just a never-ending process. No matter what you achieve in life, this cycle keeps happening. I guess maybe the best that we can do is make it as long as possible. So make it last as much as possible before the next iteration where, it goes bad. And hopefully over the long term, it lasts so long that in the meantime we die and we don't have to go through that again, right? And yeah, that's the kind of mental model that I'm trying to use to be kind to myself, especially when I don't stick to my commitments. And that's because I have made a few commitments over the past few days to myself about making some, like a paper reading YouTube video or something else, like for example, for today I was supposed to publish these Rita Talks videos, and I actually just realized that a lot of the stuff, like, this was unrealistic. I think one of them was unrealistically unrealistic, and the other one was realistically unrealistic. But yeah, maybe it was even just realistic. But days where this does not happen, you just have to, surf the wave and be kind to yourself. And I'm telling you this as much as I'm telling myself because of today, and being gracious with myself and not being too harsh, basically. So yeah, that's been what's on my mind. That has been what's been on my mind for today, or like just even right now. For me, this week, my main goals is just to single-handedly focus on this project, okay, and give myself grace for the things that I have not done, that I wish I could, that I had done, and just accept the situation and move on from there. And basically, I've just decided that I'm not gonna try and do this paper reading thing for now, at least not before I close off this project, because I have too much going on to be able to truly dedicate the mental space and to have, like, to dedicate the willpower required to make this happen in a way that in the way that I want it to happen. And so as long as I keep setting these unrealistic expectations for myself, I will just keep disappointing myself, and it's not gonna help with my self-confidence. So for now, I'm just letting it go. For the time being, I think for this next month. And just focus on this one thing that's on my plate. Work on it until I get rid of it, and hopefully we can come back to this. And I have no doubt that I will want to come back to this, because this is like just something that I've been wanting to do for a while, and it's not gonna go away, I don't think. So when the conditions are right, or at least when this if statement that I'm currently in, while true statement, which is how I try to see my life, almost all of the while true statements that had been somewhat blocking are now unblocked. So while true, I have not gotten promoted yet. I did get promoted. While true, I have not gotten French citizenship yet. I now have French citizenship and I have a French passport. The last while true is while true. I'm working on this project. While true, this project is not done yet. It's the last one. And then we can do some pretty cool shit. We can do some cool stuff. So yeah, just be patient with yourself, Rita. As I don't know who it was that said this, but any idea that's worth pursuing, like, you should only pursue ideas that have been reoccurring to you for the past 3 years or more. And it's been a few, maybe a year or two, that I've had this idea keeping coming back, an idea that keeps coming back to me. And it's just these kind of ideas that filter out through time, like that get filtered out by the filter of time, that are probably the ones worth pursuing. And so I will just be patient with myself for one more month before I get impatient with myself again about this. And I just need to give myself a bit of grace for a little bit more time. And I believe in you, Rita. I believe in your ability to make your wildest dreams come true. I believe in your ability to bring this vision that you have in your head of your life come true. I really do. And you just have to be patient with yourself and stick to the path. Keep on doing the small things, the small increments, the atomic actions that you're taking, the atomic inputs that you are ticking off most days, and you will be okay. I promise you. I promise you that, Rita. So yeah, there are days where you're gonna feel like shit, and where you're not gonna stick to your commitments, and where you're not gonna feel worthy, and when like all of this happens. But as long as you stick with the small things that I did today, you are going to be okay. Just let time do its compounding. Let time do its compounding. Let time work its magic. Okay? Yeah. On that note, I'm just gonna go to sleep. Need to wake up tomorrow. Maybe need to wake up in 7 hours to go to work. And thank you for tuning in. What did I want to say? God. Thanks a lot for tuning in. You can click here to watch my previous video on this channel, the one right before this one, or you can click here to watch my latest video on the channel overall. Thanks again for tuning in. I hope you have a fantastic rest of day, night, whichever time of day it is where you are right now. Bye for now, and I'll hopefully see you in the next one. Bye bye!